Hi, I'm Aaron, and this is Cooking with Aaron, where we like to ask a question. What's got you cooking?
He's cooking and he's Aaron and he's cooking. It's Cooking with Aaron.
Hey, welcome back to Cooking with Aaron, and what's got me cooking today are vegan peanut butter chocolate cupcakes. Alright, so for our cupcakes, first thing you want to do is preheat your oven to 350. Then we're going to mix 1 cup of non-dairy milk. In this case, I'm using almond milk, with a teaspoon of apple cider vinegar, we're going to go ahead and whisk this together, and then we're going to set it to the side for a few minutes. So once you've allowed that to sit for a few minutes and have the milk curdle, you're going to add 3/4 cup of granulated sugar. 1, 2, and 3. 1/3 cup of coconut oil. And 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla extract. And we're going to beat this mixture until it's somewhat foamy. Once we have that mixed together, we'll get it out of the way and we're going to start mixing our dry ingredients. So it's going to be 1 cup of flour, 3/4 teaspoon of baking soda, a 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and 1/3 of unsweetened cocoa powder. I'm just going to mix all that together until it's nice and even. Now we're going to blend half of our dry ingredients into our wet ingredients. Blend in the other half. Now we're going to distribute our mix into our cupcake liners. Once those are ready, just pop them into the oven. Bake at 350 for 18 to 20 minutes. So while that's baking, we're going to go ahead and make ourselves a nice gentleman's drink. Today's drink is going to be a Dirty Girl Scout. So the recipe calls for 1 part each of Irish cream, Kahlua, vodka, and creme de menthe. I usually go a little bit lighter on the creme de menthe because it can be very overpowering. So we got our Irish cream, the Kahlua, vodka. I'm using 727 vodka. This is from a local distillery, Cawthorman's Distillery in Dunedin. It's a great distillery, lots of options, lots of choices. If you're ever in Dunedin, Florida, check it out. And our creme de menthe, probably going to do a 1/4 part, again, just because it can be very overpowering. All right, take that, fill up nice and neat. Pour that out. And sit back and enjoy. If this is mixed correctly, it tastes like a Thin Mint cookie, thus the name Dirty Girl Scout. So enjoy. All right, so we've pulled the cupcakes out. We're going to let those cool. While those are cooling, we're going to make the topping. I'm going to start with a 1/4 cup of peanut butter. I usually use natural peanut butter. It's only peanuts and salt ingredient. Add a 1/4 teaspoon of salt and a teaspoon of vanilla. And then we're going to add 2½ cups of confectioner's sugar. A 1/4 cup of non-dairy milk. Again, I'm using almond milk. And then we're going to mix everything together until it's smooth. Add 2 tablespoons of coconut oil. Have that mixed up, we're going to seal with plastic wrap and put it in the refrigerator for 30 minutes. 30 minutes has gone by. I've pulled the icing out of the refrigerator. And I'm just going to go ahead and start icing the cupcakes. I'm not going to get fancy with it. I'm not going to get one of those paper tubes and swirl it around real nice. I'm just going to slather this icing onto the cupcakes. Yeah, like this.